What's going on, guys? Corbin here. Today I had the privilege of sitting down with Mario, who runs 500 Hours Coaching, and what we were able to do is help him completely automate his Instagram DMs. Now, Mario had actually had a really stellar experience being able to, scale up his business, but the problem was he was doing cold DMs, 100 a day. He did it for a year straight, burning hours and hours a day in his DMs. Right? He was able to scale up his business to, past 20K, but then after that, it just took a huge nosedive. He tried all these different strategies and he lost a bunch of money. And so what we did in today's video is show him exactly how we automate Instagram DMs using $5 an hour VAs, how it's helped me personally scale up 2 different businesses to 6 figures each, just hiring these types of $5 an hour VAs. So we walked him through that whole thing. It's going to help you guys as well if you want to automate your DMs too. Follow the exact instructions here, but really important to hear from Mario's perspective why he made certain decisions in his coaching business, why things kind of didn't go the way that he thought it would go when he was following the incorrect advice of other coaches out there prescribing really, really, really bad strategies. So you can hear it from him, hear his story, and of course we're going to walk through the solution. So let's get straight into it. Let's do it. Tell me a bit about what's going on.
So pretty much, of course, I got into online coaching, had a mentor, had a great success, right? Definitely life-changing. And outbound messaging, just outbound messaging, 100 messages a day, started around like 30, then just ramped up. You do more of what works, to get more results, right? So basically, my biggest thing that happened to me, which is a turning point, is when I got to the level that I needed to be at, where I was, hitting 10, 20K. I never had a pathway to reinvest in having, a team. So my biggest thing was, having a setter. It wasn't introduced to me. And in return, that's a level of work that's very hard to put out consistently, like when life hits you and things like that happen. So, of course, my business had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, smashing out 100 DMs a day, getting a little bit exhausting. How long were you doing that for, doing 100 a day?
um, I probably did 100 a day for about a year.
Crazy, yeah. 100 a day for a year, nuts. And you say your peak months were like 20K months?
Yeah, my peak month, my highest month I ever hit was 25K, and
Mm.
that was cash collected,
Yeah.
not revenue.
So after hitting the 25K months doing the cold outbound, what did you do next?
Honestly, I went for ads.
Yeah.
I was kind of feeling myself because I'm like, man, this is the most money I made in so long,
Yeah.
like in my entire life. Like I don't even know how to act, right?
Yeah.
So I did kind of, fall off on the code messaging and
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
And then I started to go into ads, but ads, the program that I joined was another level that I really wasn't ready for at the time.
Right. What happened?
Um, I just, you know, didn't have my systems in place like I needed to.
Hmm.
Um, and it's definitely a big part of ads.
For sure.
So I ended up losing a lot of money.
Yeah. Where are you at right now? What do you feel is like the hurdle for you at the moment?
I think the hurdle is knowing that there's a better way to do things and just not knowing actually how to put those get that the better way in effect.
I like understand your situation quite well. A lot of people come into the programs with us and they're on either end, right? Very similar to you. They've worked with another coach before, been told they need to do manual DMs. For some of them, it works great, like yourself. Other people that haven't seen any results because they just can't stay consistent with it. Like to even try and manage to get 50 out a day yourself while managing, like whether you're a PT as well on the side or other day jobs and your own training, family, it's heaps to deal with, right? So some people don't even get results when they're told to do it the manual way. Other people, they've gone all in on ads and burned a bunch of cash. Like one of our guys, Marcelo, prior to working with us, he dropped 7K in a coaching program. They went all in on ads, didn't make a cent, lost a whole bunch of money. And there was all those
Same.
like little like check boxes in between that they just completely glanced over because their coach was like, just go straight into ads. We're not against ads either, but it's not one or the other. You can do both, but it's real cost effective. So I want to break down to the overview of where you are right now, that perfect middle ground in the middle of exactly what kind of system I think will work best for you in terms of having that appointment set up. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to hire them, the exact job posts to make, what you can expect, how to shortlit, everything you need to know to get that system like completely wrapped. And then you can get back to the way things were, sending out 100 a day, but now like you've bought yourself 3 to 4 hours a day to stay focused on the business, do your own thing while those conversations are happening, getting booked on calls. You know the system works, but there's that system in the middle, that middle ground that we can do to get you back to where you were without you having to waste a bunch of cash on ads. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. What I'll do, I'll share the screen and we will dive straight in. Cold DMs is what you were used to. And for you, that was sick. Peak month, 25K. Sick. So you know it's working. That's one end of the spectrum. Other end is just straight up ads. At your peak, like how much were you spending on ads in a month?
Probably about 200 a day.
Damn. Yeah, crazy, crazy. 200 a day. Yeah. And what kind of results did you actually see from that?
I didn't get as many quality leads, if I would say like that. But I did see a little bit of cash, but not enough to return on the money that I was putting out.
Got you. Awesome, man. I'm going to walk you through literally the perfect solution here. So this middle ground, this is what so many people glance over because most of these like Muppet ass coaches don't know how to automate DMs, don't know how to build a team to do it all for you, don't know how to build backend. So what this is here is what we call the $5 an hour VA scaling system. That's right in the middle. Essentially, what this looks like is this. So we've got you up the top. All we're going to do, hire someone else here for $5 an hour. Their entire role is what they're going to do is they're going to build lead lists, right? Quality people. That's the first step. A lot of people don't really account for this. They just think it's straight up volume. But no, this is why the cold DM system works so well. It helps people scale to 20K faster and more effectively than anything else. Because unlike ads, where it's really difficult to control the quality, with this, you can immediately dictate who you want to have a conversation with. So if you have your perfect archetype, let's say you want to target people with actual cash, right? Like what's your current price point now for your programs?
It's 1,500 for 3 months.
Cool. All right, cool, cool, cool. 1,500, 3 months. All right. We want to go to people who are going to be able to afford that, no sweat. And we want to be able to increase that price by at least $1,000. So we want to be operating around that 2.5K mark for a 12 or 16 week program. Only people who are going to be able to afford that are people with cash. Your VA right here will go in and build a lead list for you of like 500 leads a week. They'll do it on the weekend and it's all people. For example, if you choose to niche down on doctors, for example, younger doctors, whatever, they've been putting their ass, like busting their ass straight into like study for 10 years, haven't really been focusing on their own health, ironically. This happens to a lot of doctors, right? You don't very often see doctors in like fantastic shape, right? We can
Right.
help these people and then got cash, right? So if you want just straight up doctors, young males living in America, great. Your guy will go and build a list of 500 a week and he'll only message those people. So now you know every single conversation that you guys are having is with financially pre-qualified people. So you're not wasting time with tire kickers, right? So that's one side of the coin, is now you have complete control over the quality of the leads that you guys are getting into conversations with. Number two, obviously, is going to be the volume side of things. And a minimum 100 a day, which is where you can kind of start off, you guys doing 100 a day easy. They're messaging all these people, they're handling the conversations. You ain't got to do shit. Like you just literally you kick back, right? And this is for a lot of people like the first opportunity they get to manage a team. Like they actually get to be, as you mentioned, like the boss, the CEO. You have people that are working for you. This is for most people their first taste. And this is why that $5 an hour price point is so good. A lot of people kind of wonder, like, man, how the hell is anyone going to want to do this for $5 an hour? I have, in the past 2 years, scaled two different online businesses, two different markets, two different offers, to each of them 6 figures at least. I did that with $5 an hour VAs. All of them, every single one from the Philippines. Every single one. In fact, I was paying them $3 an hour, right? These days, for the best performance, it's $5 an hour from the Philippines. They work harder than anyone else. Their English is perfect. People don't realize this. In fact, I actually did a post on my Instagram about Bill Gates. When Microsoft, I can't remember the exact year, when Microsoft chose to set up their call centers in the Philippines, right? I think to date they have employed like 12,000 people from the Philippines, right? The year that he did that, set up shop in Philippines, 4 years later, Bill Gates increased his net worth from 15 billion when they set up shop in Philippines, 4 years later, 100 billion.
Mm.
The main change they made was hiring a shit ton of people, talent from the Philippines. Because instead of having the call centers set up in first world countries where you're paying people heaps more cash, they set it up here. The dollar stretches so much further over there. So $5 an hour is a solid starting rate. A lot of people are happy to do that kind of work. And what we're about to do, showing you actually where to find them, how to set it up, you'll see the moment you make that job post, come back 24 hours later, you'll have 20 to 50 applicants lined up. They want to do this work. They're happy for it. And that's the thing with so many coaches. I see like this solution is sitting under their nose. They have no idea. No idea. And that's why this works so well, is because you've got this solution in the middle ground. They're responsible for doing all this work and then booking your calls with these pre-qualified people. So now you're not going to be dealing with poor quality people. You're only spending $5 an hour. Your return on this kind of thing is astronomical. Like you sell, let's do the calculation here, right? You sell one person, 1,500. I just want to show you the kind of return you get from this, right? 1,500, essentially one client sign on pays for 300 hours of work,
Right.
right? Easy.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. To get like 100 messages out, they might take maybe 4 hours a day, and we're only working Monday to Friday. Let's say 20 working days in the month. Okay. So we're looking 20 working days times the 4 hours in the day. That's 80 hours a month, right? 300 divided by 80. You pay for your workforce there for almost 4 months, right? How fucking bizarre is that, right? 3.75 months of work, my G.
Yes.
Right?
No brain. No brainer.
No brainer, bro. No brainer, right? That's why it's crazy. No one knows this shit, bro. And nobody's doing this, right? That's almost 4 months of work. Let's even be generous, right? Let's say cool or conservative, I should say. Let's even cut it down to 3 months worth of work. In 3 months of 100 DMs a day, how many people can you sign?
A lot. A lot. Especially like if all I'm focusing on is closing, like closing the deal.
Yeah,
Man, I mean, you
easy,
know, it's like
easy.
you just focus in on your sales skills and that's it.
Mhm. That's it.
You know.
You focus on your sales, you make your program better, you're with your clients getting better results, they get better case studies, feeds right back to the content. Everyone's loving what you're doing. But you can't do that when you're in the DMs 4 hours a day. There's just no chance, man. And that's the thing is what coaches don't get is there will come a point where you have to be the boss. You have to have people working for you at some point. Name me one company that's doing 7 figures that don't employ nobody.
Right. And that's pretty much like that's pretty much my dilemma. Like I reached that peak where I was supposed to go to that next level.
Mm.
As far as exactly what you're saying, and I just didn't, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's right. That's right. So literally, man, like we've had guys in the program launch this system. David's a great example. He was actually on the call on that group call. He launched on a Monday. On a Thursday, he had his first sale. They were only doing 50 a day, right? So when you think about that, 2 hours a day worth of work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what? His VA is working 8 hours, which comes up to $10, close someone for 2,500. Think about that
nah,
return for a second, right? That's a 250x. He spent $10 on his VA, made 2,500 4 days later from launching. They only started doing 50 DMs a day. That's a 250x. Name me one ad that can get you that.
you can't.
There ain't none, man. There's none. And that's the thing. Like coaches don't get it. It's not either or. It's not do manual cold DMs or do ads and blow money and test with 200 a day and just lose all. There's a thing in the middle, which is this, right? That's the baby step. Like I said, bro, we are not against ads, but we do this first, get cash in the door, and then out of the profit from that, now we roll it into low budget ads, $20 a day, $40 a day. That gets you right, man. That totally fine. Right. So now how to actually set this thing up. I'm gonna walk you through it step by step. All right, this is what we want. So let's go right over. Where are we? All right. We do all this in Upwork. That's the only place you really need to go. At different stages when you want to get commission only appointment setters, for some people they want to manage their cash flow, and so it's like easier on them to just do commission only. They pay them on the back end, they do free work in the front. Pros and cons to everything, right? Pros, technically it's free until you get paid, then you pay them. Cons, if your commission only appointment setters don't see some action within the first couple of weeks, they leave. Now you got to go through the hiring process again, interview, train, and then start. With a $5 an hour VA, I've had $5 an hour VAs in my business for over 12, 13 months, right? They don't leave, they just stay. They like that work, man. They're good because they're getting upskilled, right? If you're a great leader, they love working with you, right? I've had people say 12, 13 months, $5 an hour, no change, right? And so this is why I suggest everyone starts off with Upwork. Get your workforce down, get that foundational level, then build on top with commission only appointments. That's fine. But how we do this, you go on Upwork, and create a free account. What you want to do, go over here to jobs, post a job. I'm going to grab the exact job post from our program. So let me jump in here. So within the elite program, we go over here, everything you need for 6-figure sales, mastering organic acquisition, automating your outreach, 6-figure appointment setter. And then we want to go right here, how to hire a skilled appointment setter. We're just going to grab this exact job post right here. So starting with the title, talented appointment setter VA. Sweet. First off, we're going to go longer term work. We want them working with us for a long time, right? Title, copy and paste. Talented appointment setter VA. Easy. General virtual assistants. No worries. They run through all the training in our program anyways. So we can just hire a general VA to train them up, right? No problem. Skills, we can select a couple of different things here. So they need to be good at managing data entry. That's really important. In the program, you'll see we have a really, really in-depth tracking sheet. It was kind of what we were talking about on the call with David. Like we track every little metric. So we know where bottlenecks occur, right? So data entry is really important. Communications has to be good. Customer service to general virtual assistants. I also want to type in here English. Have to be good with English. Even though the scripts are like copy and pasted and it's a very short script, still we want to make sure they understand. That's pretty much all we need. English, data entry, communications, customer service, virtual assistant. Pretty good, right? Scope. I want to go, we can start off 3 to 6 months. Intermediate's good. Just easy, right? Nothing complicated. We can say, no, not at this time for like super full-time work. You just start them off and then we go budget. This is where we go. Are they going 4 to 5? Right, for hourly rate, we get a lot of people at that rate. Right. Description, easy. We're just going to copy and paste it. I'll read it out to you as well. Here it is. I'm looking for a young, talented virtual assistant to send Instagram messages and book meetings for my online coaching program. This will predominantly involve messaging existing followers and cold leads on Instagram to convert them into book calls using our messaging scripts. Fluent English is a must, as you'll be messaging people from my main account and they must think it's me talking to them. All leads will need to be recorded in a spreadsheet, so the ability to use Google Sheets is a must. If you understand all the above and meet the criteria at the top of your cover letter, please put setter. Right? Then all we go, review job post. Bang, everything looks good. Post. You wait 24 hours and you come back. You have, let me see if I got one of my old job posts. Maybe we can see what to expect. Well, you have anywhere from 20 to 50 different applications, right? So see all postings. Let's see. All right, it's been a while since I've had to make one of them posts. So let's see if I can find something. Okay, show phone. Back here. Yeah, I ain't got an old post, but essentially what it'll look like, I'll show you from another one. After you're done, you'll be greeted with something like this. You'll have a bunch of your proposals. So this one was looking for Reels editors, right? It'll look exactly the same for your thing too, right? So we had like 45 people applying to this thing. And you'll see immediately in their cover that if they put the word setter, it's a good sign that they are going to take the time to read it. They're probably the best kind of candidates, right? It's not a make or break, but it's just a bonus. And then you can see stuff like this, like they will put their bid if they say, oh no, I'm worth $10 an hour. You're out of here. Right? We want people right on bang on the money, $5 an hour. So they'll have their bid here. It will say how much money they've earned. So you can kind of see their kind of experience, how good they are, what other people say about them, if they're rising talent. Any kind of these things are good signs. For shortlisting, it's really simple. I can't do this now because this job is closed. But there'll be like a little like thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can thumbs up people, and then takes them right to the shortlist right here. And then that's where you can kind of do the deeper search, take a look at each of their cover letters, and really look at and be like, okay, cool. This person's done this, 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 this. All you want to do then is just engage with them and be like, hey man, appreciate you, applying to the job. Keen to set up, kind of interview process. But before we do that, I want to just quickly run you through a little bit of a test just to make sure you're great for the job. And what that test is we don't want to hire people or take our time to get on interviews with people if they're not even going to pass the basic test. And for within the program, you'll see like our signature for sending Instagram DMs, our script relies on them to be able to send a custom first message, right? We do this really differently to a lot of people, right? This is how our stuff gets like 50 to 70% reply rates. It's real different. So the test, what you'll do is pretty much just in short, is you'll give them like your account, for example, and be like, hey, send me through 3 different custom one-liners that you think I might reply to, right? Because we're doing cold DMs. If you shortlist 5 or 10, they all send you 3 different lines. Whichever one you like the most fluent in English, it's got the kind of stuff that people would want to reply to. It's obviously custom. That's your guy. You might find out of the 10, you might find 3 out of the 10 are really solid. Book them all on quick interviews. And what you're looking for in the interviews is not so much like their work experience and whatever, it's their fluency in their English. You want to be able to sit down and be able to chat to them and have a proper conversation. You can tell they understand it, their comprehension is really good. They get where you're coming from, they understand your ambition. And then interview 3 or 4. At the end of that, you'll know who your man is. That's where you obviously want to talk about the capacity. Hey, like, man, I'm looking for 4 hours worth of work each day. Do you reckon you can do it? Looking to do X, Y, Z. Yep, cool, sweet. After those 4, you'll know exactly who you want to hire. All you do, you onboard them onto your team, right? Give them the accounts for your Instagram, whatever, and then get them the leads and then start messaging. That's it. That's it. What do you think about
I think that's really good. I like how you include the actual like list too, like the the job listing also. So like you don't have to like make that up yourself. Like you literally walk through it because I actually in my program before I had a coach that was in for ads and they just said, "Oh yeah, just go on Upwork and create a listing." But like you literally just broke it all the way down. Like,
that?
you know what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah, that's it.
Like
That's it.
I didn't even know you had to like do an interview. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I
Crucial.
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I thought
Crucial, man.
so.
And that's
I
the thing
mean,
in general. Yeah, brother. I appreciate that. We literally go as step by step as you can imagine, man. Like we leave very little room for error. And I think that's why like we just try and make it as smooth a process as possible. But in general, man, like this is all about making you like a proper legit business owner. This is about making you a leader. And this is why the interviews are so important because you get to cast a vision in the interviews. Be like, man, this is what I'm trying to do right now. If you tell them about your previous success, like, man, we're doing 20K by myself. I was doing the scripts. I know what to do. I want to bring someone on board. I want you to work alongside me, help me grow this company. When they feel like it's their thing too, I tell you what, man, you get the best work from people. I've one of my guys now, commission only guy. He's been with me since May, holding it down. And he's so thorough, man. He believes in the vision. He wants us to be the best. Because it's his too. Like I make everyone feel like it's your business too. It's your name that's gonna go on it too, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if you want to do
yeah,
other jobs after this, I'll give you all the glowing praise you want. I'll give you every recommendation. You can say you helped build this thing, right? This is you. And man, that when you make that shift from being a one-man army to now you're a leader, you change as a business owner. You got more responsibility on you. You know what I mean? And that's that middle ground, that golden middle ground. So many coaches are unaware of, and I'm glad at least today we could solve that problem, get in there. And obviously, you can have recording to this. It's going to be chucked up on YouTube. You can keep going back. But of course, in the program too, you got access to it all, man. So yeah, I'm glad it makes sense, brother. But any questions on that kind of stuff?
no. I say the only question I would have this, and this kind of goes more towards the like program, I guess. Do you hire and like train the setters, or do I hire and train the
So
setters?
typically, it depends on program you're in, right? So typically, you'd go through, you'd make that Upwork posting. You would do the interview because, again, they're going to be working for you. You want to know who's on your team. So we typically leave that to you, the hiring process. The training, we take care of. They run through our program. We've built out all the SOPs as it is, right? You'll need to prepare some document, right? Just with your ideal client profile so they know who to look for, right? But that's easy. Takes half an hour. We do the rest.
Right.
Handle the training, bam, 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 bam. You give them access to the tracking sheet. and they're on their way. So the only thing you have to do is like make that job post, interview the person that you really like that sits with you. You tell us, hey man, I'm thinking between these two people, who you think is going to be best. We'll help you decide. All right. So yeah, that's probably the only thing you need to do, but we handle trading.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Cool, brother. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome, man. Well, I think in terms of the actual YouTube content thing itself, I think that we've got our moment. I'm happy with that.